Alright guys, welcome back to the Bait Cave, and we're here to bring you the Phantom mold. Now all of y'all have seen this mold before, I am sure, but I don't know if you've seen it used in these ways. So you know you can typically use it in your way to make your solid bait. But then you can take your rods, and it's obviously a core shot mold. So what we're going to do today for you is take these, turn it into a core shot, and then show you what you can do more to create some amazing cool colors that you've never seen before. We're going to start by pulling these crawls out and putting the rods in, and we'll show you how to do that here. So we're just going to take these crawls right here out, toss them to the side. We don't need those right now. And we're going to show you, you just take each one of these rods, and it's got special spots for the rods, and you just take each one and put each rod in their each desired spot, and you make sure they're lined up. And when they're all like that, you're good to go. So we got all the rods in. We're going to put the top plate on, and we're going to screw it in. Alright guys, so now that we got the rods and the molds, the only thing we have left to do is to mix up the color, which I already know what color we're going to have. We're going to do a watermelon red base, so which means we're going to have some watermelon. We're going to throw a black and a red flake in it. So we're going to go ahead, and since I already know what color I'm making, I don't have to heat it up and make the color. So we're going to go ahead and throw some of this watermelon in. We're not going to do too much because we want it to be pretty see-through. And we're going to take and we're going to do just a little bit of black flake, and then we're going to take and we're going to do a little bit of red flake, and then that's going to make us a real nice light watermelon red. And you want it light, that way when you do the core shot you can see the core in there. And we're going to do a really nice core color when we get around to it and show y'all. So now that we got this mixed up and ready to go in the microwave, we got our shell color heated up, and you want to make sure to get your plastic to 350 so it switches and it goes to a plastic. It starts to turn to a solid. So now that we got our shell color shot up or heated up, we're going to shoot it into the mold. That way we can pull the shells out, show you the shells, and then move on to shooting the core. And then once we shoot the core, we'll show you the baits, and then we'll move on to the crazy cool colors that y'all have been waiting for. Alright guys, now that we got the shells shot, I'm going to show you how I like to remove them from the rods and the rest of the mold. That way you don't have any problems when you shoot the core. You don't have any bits or pieces of plastic plugging up the hole. You want to take a pair of scissors or anything and go around the rod just like that. And then you want to take and grab the bait, and you just want to slide it off, and there you go. You have a completely hollow bait ready for a core. We're going to sit here and do the rest of these, and we'll get back to you when we're ready to shoot the cores. Now that we got all the cores off all the shells off the rods, we're going to set the rods off to the side, and we're going to take the bodies and we're going to place them back into the mold, and we're going to try to get them as flush as we can. And we're going to do this all the way back through with all 6 of them. That way when we shoot the cores will come down and go through into these slots. We got all the bodies in and made sure that they're flush. We're going to take the top plate, we're going to put it back on. We're going to make sure that all sides, when it clamps down, all sides clamp down evenly. That way when we tighten it up, there's no way for the plastic to leak out, because that can make a huge mess, and then you don't want to do that because then you're messing with 350-degree plastic, sometimes more, sometimes less. Alright guys, now that we got the shells in, we got our core color, and this is actually some Neo Peach left over from the last video. We're going to throw a little bit of extra Neo Peach, and we're going to throw a black and some red flake into it. We're just going to squeeze a good little bit into here. We're going to take this, we're going to mix it in, see if that's dark enough. Oh yeah, that's definitely got us dark enough. We're going to take and we're going to throw in just a little bit of red and black flake. So we're going to start with the black, and I'm not really trying to measure. We're going to throw that in. That's about a scoop. We're going to throw about a scoop in, and we're going to mix it up. So now that we got our core color mixed up, we're going to take and we're going to inject it into the mold, and we're going to shoot the cores into the shells, and then we're going to take it out and show y'all what it looks like. Guys, we got our cores shot up, and we're going to take and we're going to show y'all what our cores look like in here. And this is a nice melon core color. Alright guys, now that we showed you the melon core, we're going to take and we're going to show you something else really cool you can do with this mold. We're going to take and we're going to get our rods put back in, and we're going to get the mold closed up. That way we can show y'all this next color that we're about to make, because we need the rods in for it. So we got our watermelon mixed back up to do some more shells, and then we're going to show you a really cool color that you can do, in a really cool way that you can do this color that you may have never thought about doing in this mold. We got the shells open, and we're going to take and we're going to pull each off the same as earlier, exact same as earlier. And there's a little secret behind this when we pull these off. So I'm going to give y'all a secret on how this crazy cool color is to shoot. So you got your hollow body, you got your crawl, it's ready for a core, but you take and you chop the crawls off right at the crawls. You just take, you chop it off. I'll do another one for y'all just to show y'all. You go right behind the crawls and you chop. And we're going to do that with the rest of them. We're going to get them back in the mold and get ready to shoot them for y'all. We got all of our bodies cut. We're going to get them laid back into the mold. And you want to make sure that you face the head and put the head where it needs to go. You don't want to accidentally put it in here backwards, because then you're going to have a mess up. And you want to get all of them lined up, and you want to line each of the rings exactly where they need to go. That way you don't have a bait sticking too far out either. You don't want it sticking too far out. You don't want it to be too far in. So now that we got all the bodies back in, we're going to take them, we're going to close the mold. And once again, make sure everything is flush. And we're going to cinch it down, and we're going to get ready to shoot these cores for you. Yeah, so we got our core color mixed up here. We're going to go ahead and shoot it into the mold. And when you do it like this, you want to make sure that you got this pretty warm, so that when you go to shoot it in, it goes through that body and hits them tails. And when you do this method, you want to sit there and hold for a little bit longer, because it's going through that thin section. It's pushing that plastic through that thin section and getting it into them tails. So you want to make sure it gets it nice into them tails, and you fill them tails in real nice. So we're just going to take it and we're going to hold it here for a little bit longer than normal, and I think we're good now. So we're going to go ahead and put the plastic back into here. We're going to top it off just a little bit and put the rest of the plastic back in here, and then we're going to open up the mold and show you guys what it makes. Alright guys, now that we got the core shot through it, we're going to take and open up the mold, and we're going to show you what it makes. So here's the reveal. Look at that color there. So you got the green body, there's a little bit of blue running through the middle of it, which is harder to see right now, but then you got the blue tail. And doesn't that just make an absolutely amazing color? Just look at that there. Now that we got these out the mold, we're going to get ready to shoot the next color for y'all, which is going to be even crazier and more intricate than this one. So the next area we're going to have to start this color is we're going to have to go ahead and put the rods back in, just like all the ones before. But this one's going to even be different than the last one. It's similar, but it's different. You can do more with it based off of the last idea. So we got our shell color heated up for our last and final color, and this one is darker than all the rest of them has been, and there's a reason behind why it is darker and a more solid color than two, is why the rest of the bodies and shell colors have been a lot lighter to be able to see the core. There's a reason this one's darker. So once we get it opened up and we start to show you the process, you'll see why this color is darker. As you can see here, we got our shells pulled out of the mold and ready to be modified. So what you're going to do now, instead of chopping, you're going to want to chop right at the claws again, but instead of chopping and keeping the body, you want to chop and keep the claws. So we're going to do that to each one. We're going to take and we're going to chop off each set of the claws. And we're going to take and we're going to put them back into the mold. But here's the deal. We're not just going to throw them back into the mold. And you heard me right. We're not just throwing them, lining them back into the mold. We're going to take each one of these and put it back on the rod and set it back into the mold. So now that we got each one of these on the rods and ready to go back in, we're going to set these back in, close the mold, and we're going to take and we're going to mix up a body, but we're going to do a clear body this time, and we'll show you why. Alright, since the body's going to be clear and we don't need any other colors to make this, we're going to use only glitters, and we're going to take a little bit of this fuchsia pink, or a lot of it, and throw it in there. And we're going to throw a little bit of this blue. We'll get that blue in there. And then we're going to throw a little bit of black flake. And then we're going to heat it up and show y'all what this makes. Guys, so we got our second shell color ready to go. It is a clear with pink, blue, and black flake. We're going to go ahead and shoot it in here. We're going to get it, and we're going to let them push some pressure so that they mold together real nice, because we have two different pieces of plastic that are at two different temperatures going together. So we're going to take and hold a little bit of pressure and keep it there to keep it warm. And now we're going to pull it off and top it off, and that should be good. Now our bodies should be together, and we're going to take them out and show them to y'all, and we should still have a two-color hollow bodied bait. That way we can still go through and shoot a core, and then we'll make up the core color and we'll show y'all the core and we'll shoot it through. Alright guys, so we got our core color heated up. Alright guys, so we pulled out the 2 core color. It's got the clear body and the dark purple tail. And now we're gonna get ready to line them up and shoot the cores through. That way we can show you the finale of this color, and we can show you all the colors that we made through today, and show you how you can progress from making a solid color to a core color to a 2-tone core color to a 3-toned core color. Alright guys, so here's the progression we made from a solid color to a core color to a 2-toned core color to a 2-tone body with the core color. And that is the progression and how crazy you can get with a core shot bait, especially this Phantom.